Number 866 to order. So if you stop talking, I appreciate it. Thank you. Councillor, we'll start with a prayer. Heavenly Father, grant that we who would seek to serve you may have the wisdom of your Spirit, the guiding of your hand, and the grace to serve together for the prosperity of our city. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. National Anthem.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are one and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every state advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing about Australia fair. Beneath our radiant Southern Cross, we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this Commonwealth of ours renowned of all the lands. For those who've come across the seas with boundless plains to share, with courage let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing advance Australia fair.
Please be seated. Item 1, attendance apologies, nil. Item 2, leave of absence, nil. Condolences, item 3, nil. Mayoral Minute, there's 2 councillors. First one is mayor staffing. Councillors, a preamble there. I move that the council support policy be amended to increase the maximum total staffing allocation of Office the Mayor from 12 FTE to 13 FTE. 2, that council notes this amendment increases the maximum cap only, and any staffing changes within the cap will remain subject to council's normal governance, budget and approval process. 3, that the Chief Executive Officer or delegate update the council support policy accordingly and implement the amendment in accordance with the council's administrative processes. Councillors, it's been 14 years since I've been mayor of this city, and the part that has grown in Office the Mayor is not conceivable that they're all flat out there, and especially as we're going towards the Olympics and major projects that that's coming through, the senior advocacy part of it, I would need help and follow up, and really that's the essence of it all. Any questions, councillors? Yes, Councillor Tozer.
When you mentioned before the budget processes and how that works, how do you propose that this 13th FTE will fit within the existing adopted budget?
It will be reflected into the budget. So with this motion going through, we'll adjust the budget to fit with this.
And just so I can be clear, is the person that you're adding to your team an administrative role, or is it a more senior management role? And what's the kind of frame that you expect?
Senior management primarily is my former Chief of Staff.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Doran.
Mr Mayor, councillors were circulated not too long ago a draft councillor support policy review, which is, I believe, coming within the next couple of months to council. My question is, why couldn't this wait till that gets reviewed and determined?
It's to give certainty, and I don't want to give certainty to the person that I'm trying to attract and hold in my office. All right, Councillor, anyone speak against? Councillor Martin?
Question, Mr Mayor. Mr Mayor, just in the preamble, you talked about the advocacy projects, and I think there was a previous council resolution around those top advocacy projects from 2024, and I did sort of look at that resolution, which was for the 2025 year. It was an advocacy document for budget. So I suppose my question is the advocacy projects that you've put in here still accurate? Because, Mr Mayor, I did not support that at the time, noting light rail stage 4. So just seeking an understanding of, are those advocacy projects proposed to be carried forward in this new role?
Only the ones that are recently in discussion through whether it be Invest. I don't think light rail stage 4 is in the consideration.
Okay, so light rail stage 4 would not be part of this list, but perhaps a northern light rail may still be on there, but stage 4 specifically would not be part of this advocacy.
No, because the state government said that it's not.
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor.
That advocacy will commence should I be re-elected and have the city's mandate to go forward and advocate for the staff. Councillor, anyone speak against? Put the motion to you. All in favour, show of hands. Against, carry, unanimous. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Tozer.
I'm sorry, you just called that vote unanimous, but I don't believe that it was. Sorry.
All in favour, show of hands. Oh, okay. Division.
Mayor Tate, Councillor Doran, Councillor Patterson, Councillor LaCastra, Councillor Curtis, Councillor Gates, Councillor Hamill, Councillor Fowler, Councillor Wilkinson, Councillor Tozer, Councillor O'Neill, Councillor Taylor, Councillor Marshall, Councillor Martin.
Against?
Councillor Young.
Carry supermajority. Thank you, Councillor Tozer. Next item is the second Mayoral Minute, proposed changes to committee membership. The preamble's all there. I move that the register of membership and responsibility of standing committees and delegation to external organisation be amended to reflect the changes proposed in the Mayoral Minute effective immediately. Councillors, it's all about sharing and getting other people to move around and learn about other committees. It doesn't preclude any councillor who's not in that committee not to attend the committee that you're not in. And if you've got a GB item to be raised, I'm sure one of your council colleagues would be more than happy to raise the GB item. But if you can't find that such person, please come and see me. I'll raise the GB items for you. Councillor Fowler.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Can I please ask if I can move an amendment for councillors to consider and then speak to it, if I may?
Yep, okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Under planning and regulation, I would just like to ask councillors and yourself if I could remove my name as being removed from the committee. Under lifestyle, I was hoping I could change my name to take on the deputy chair role and actually revert that back to Councillor Marshall. And the third one was just under E-Tech, change Councillor Doran's name to my name to continue in the deputy chair role.
So what's the amended motion?
So it'll just be changing 3 names in the current motion.
So is it clause 2? You're going to raise clause 2 as a motion?
I can go through those for you. Sorry, I'll just grab it. So when we're looking at Planning and Regulation Committee heading, so if we go to the second dot point, just deleting Fowler.
No, in the just pause for a second.
Sure.
Mr. CEO, is that substantial change to a Mayoral Minute?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I might get General Counsel to answer that if that's okay.
Through the chair, Mr. Mayor, I take it you're proposing an amendment to a proposed motion, and there is a section of the local law that provides that an amendment to a motion must be in terms which retain the intent of the original motion and do not negate the motion. So this is a special type of motion, a Mayoral Minute. We just have to adhere to that requirement.
I think, Mr. Mayor, from my perspective, it doesn't change the intent.
But no, it's from my perspective, Councillor.
Sure.
And I rule that it changes the intent. So you can vote no on it.
Could I just make one comment about planning, Mr. Mayor?
You can speak on it. You can speak
Thank you.
against it. Go ahead.
So, Mr. Mayor, I understand being on 4 committees would be additional work for me, but I do want the extra work, especially as I'm the local divisional councillor for the city's, or one of the city's most complex legal appeals, being the New Crush Quarry that we're currently undertaking. I don't want to put my community in a position where I'm reducing my voting rights on that committee at planning. That was actually afforded to my male colleague, Councillor Martin, for the last 2 years. When he had a lot of Palm Beach applications coming through. So I'm hoping that councillors can support me in returning me back to that committee, as we have done it for another councillor previously. And just in regards to lifestyle, Mr. Mayor, Councillor Marshall is very active in this space. We all know I represent suburbia. Councillor Marshall represents our beaches, our lifeguards, and is very involved in that community. And I just think that Councillor Marshall's a much more appropriate elected representative to represent that committee, supporting the great work that Councillor Toes is doing. And just thirdly to that, Councillor Lacastre and I are a great team, and I'm sure Councillor Lacastre will agree. We've been working really hard behind the scenes to build relationships with the entities, really open up that reporting framework, and I'm sure councillors will agree that Councillor Lacastre and I have really made some moves in that space, and I would love to continue as his number 2 deputy, and I've been really enjoying that role. Okay.
My response to your motion, you can sit down now. You can sit down. Thanks. So, councillors, with the Mayoral Minute here, first up, the rebut on the New Crush. I think now it's going to appeal. Councillor Hamill is handling that. When it comes to attending planning or whatever committee you want to attend, you still have the right to be there and add value to the planning. I don't see any problem in doing that, and a lot of you still will do that, and I welcome that part of it. And from consultation with the Deputy Mayor, we find that this is a very fair workload to spread around to everybody. The debate's closed. Councillor Gates, you want to ask a question?
Yes, sorry, you've just closed debate, but Mr. Mayor, I wanted to say that I've been someone's deputy for 14 years now, and I don't choose to continue on in a deputy role. So when you asked me to step aside as deputy mayor, it was to transition to the next generation, and I would be grateful if you would continue to do that in terms of deputies and take me completely out of the realm.
Oh, all right. No. In the I hear, I'm not going to make you do something you don't want to do. So do you still want to remain in that committee, in governance?
I think you'll recall it was the one committee I asked you not to put me on at the start of the term. It's not my favoured one, but I go to most of the meetings, and if you want me there, that's where I'll be. But yeah, it's up to you.
No, thank you, Councillor Gates. I appreciate that. So I'll go to Chair of Governance. Do you have a deputy in mind instead of Councillor Gates?
Mr. Mayor, I would be very happy with any of the committee members as deputy. I've loved working with Councillor Martin, and I really appreciate his input in our pre-briefings. It's most valuable to me, but I don't know whether he's actually interested in taking on the new opportunity you've suggested at Transport. We haven't had that discussion.
Councillor Martin, can you do 2 deputies?
Mr. Mayor, yeah, look, I've really valued the GAF committee, so I'd be happy to stay on as deputy chair of GAF committee. I do attend Transport, and I'd be happy to do that, especially given I'm going from 4 committees down to the 3.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. So the amended motion will be just continue that that Councillor Gates deputy chair role in GAV is be replaced by Councillor Martin as deputy chair. Okay. Councillor Marshall?
Sorry, Mr. Mann, through you. I was just going to speak against. I'm not sure if we're still in debate or if debate's open.
Debate's closed.
Okay. Okay.
Councillor, I put the motion to you. All in favour, show of hands. Division's call.
Mayor Tate, Councillor Patterson, Councillor Lacastre, Councillor Curtis, Councillor Gates, Councillor Hamill, Councillor Wilkinson, Councillor O'Neill, Councillor Taylor.
Against?
Councillor Doran, Councillor Young, Councillor Fowler, Councillor Tozer, Councillor Marshall, Councillor Martin.
Okay, motion carried. Right. Go to confirmation of minutes. Someone like to move acceptance of minutes? Move, Councillor Tozer, seconder. Councillor Hamill, all in favour, show of hands. Against, motion carried. Any corrections for the minutes, councillors? Move for adoption, Councillor Tozer. Seconder. Councillor Hamill, all in favour, show of hands. Against, motion carried. Special meeting of the council. I move the minutes. I'll move minutes be accepted. Seconder, Councillor Tozer, all in favour, show of hands. Against, motion carried. Any items you want to deal separately? Any questions, corrections? Move to adoption. Seconder, Councillor Tozer. All in favour, show of hands. Against, motion carried. Mayor's report. So, 13th of March, we had 2032 Meet the Buyers Breakfast at Gold Coast. We had Councillor Hamill, Wilkinson, Doran were in attendance, and also state members, Minister Tim Mander, Sports and Olympic and Paralympic Committee, Minister Steve Mannikin, Customer Services and Open Data, Minister for Small and Family Business, Member for Southport, Rob Mohawk, Member for Theodore, Mark Boothman, Member for Mermaid, Ray Stevens, Member for Coomera, Michael Crandon. And we had Gold Coast Chamber of Commerce in attendance. I provide the welcome The breakfast was held at the Gold Coast Turf Club. As host city and key delivery partner, the Gold Coast had a unique opportunity to support local businesses in securing games-related procurement, building capacity, partnership and confidence in supplying large-scale events and creating long-term economic and employment benefits. So it's really, we are focusing that local business gets local jobs as we build and supply things for the Olympics. So we want to use Gold Coasters. It's very well attended. I think it was oversubscribed, and I think Mr. CEO would take on board on how we could perhaps do a second one, or the ones that missed out, I still want to reach out to them. So if you can take that on notice there, please. The Boat Works Youth Employment Media Corps. I joined representative from marine industry and TAFE Queensland at the Boat Works in Cooma to highlight the growing marine apprenticeship and employment pathway for young people within the precinct. And I also joined the Boat Works owner, Tony Longhurst, on a tour of the marine workshop where tradespeople were fabricating and welding components and installing propellers beneath a vessel undergoing a full refit. And that industry is just going from strength to strength. Gold Coast Arena preferred proponent announcement. Once we made the decision, we made the announcement that the consortium have put together global infrastructure developer including Planetary Group, world leading in live entertainment company Live Nation, as well as Australia-owned construction and property group Built. And Invest Gold Coast will now work with the Amplify GC through the request of for proposal, and the RFP will see the refinement of the investment options and deliver plans and design for 2032 Olympics and Paralympics legacy venue, and we'll bring it back here for council to have your input. Gold Coast T100 Triathlon, 18th of March, from 21 to 22nd March, the city hosted the first Gold Coast T100 Triathlon event. And so among the competitors who took part in the 2-kilometre swim, 80-kilometre bike ride and 18 kilometres run on the Sunday, and our very own Councillor Shelley Curtis was in there. I thought I asked that photos be put in. Oh, there you go. I was reading. Oh, look at that. What a great photo, eh? Wow. I think that's going to be our poster for Healthy and Active. Did it hurt?
Oh, it was great. It was a great day.
All right. Okay, I think I encourage all other councillors to join in next year.
Awesome.
The Aussies, the Australian Surf Life Saving Championship media call, and so was at North Kira Beach, and this year instalment of the Aussie saw more than 7,500 competitors from 316 surf club, and it goes from 21 to 29th of March. The interesting thing here, councillor, is that every competitor are all surf lifesavers first. They are volunteers. They're out there patrolling the beach and save life, and they're athletes secondary to that. And it's quite commendable. I think it's the only sport in Australia that you're a surf lifesaver, or you're doing volunteering work, volunteering time before you become an athlete. The next one is Ray White Bell Group Business Meets Sports Luncheon, and some of us were there, had a great time, caught up with former Prime Minister John Howard, and I think there was a presentation or bench there with Matthew Johns, Gordon Tallers, Josh Haney, Gold Coast Titans head coach, and Rebecca Frizzell, Titans owners there. And it was fantastic to hear John Howard's behind-the-scenes political manoeuvres and some of the great stories he told. Great Australian. And then I did Today Show live weather cross with Tim Davies, just to show that we're ready. We're ready for the Easter holidays for Southerners to come on up. This is national televised. I think there's a video there.
Morning guys, I have hit the Nerang River this morning and we are taking the Gold Coast in all of its glory on a Monday. Perfect way to start the working week. We're out here, of course, with the jet ski safaris, Gold Coast jet ski safaris, Marina Mirage, or also the JW Marriott as well. And Mayor Tom Tate, more like Tom Mr. Hasselhoff Tate this morning. He's got his lifeguard shirt on representing the Gold Coast. Tommy Tate, love it guys. We'll have a chat to him in just a second as we celebrate the fact that the Gold Coast has been named Queensland's top tourist destination. Let's check that forecast most importantly for you across Australia on this Monday and see how things are faring. We're going to see some showers about for Cairns, heading for a top of 30 degrees. Brisbane a shower or two and 29. For the Gold Coast, 28 degrees on the way today. 27 and wet for Sydney, partly cloudy and 27 for Canberra. Melbourne partly cloudy, 25 degrees. 20 the top for Hobart, looking rather wet. 31 degrees and mostly fine and sunny for Adelaide today. Perth partly cloudy, a top of 30. For Alice Springs, a high of 32, and Darwin, rain easing, a possible storm today and a high of 30. Have a look at this. It's all going on out here with the foiling happening. We've got the jet skis and we've got the mayor. Tom Tate, good morning to you.
Good morning, mate.
You must be on cloud 9 with this news today about the Gold Coast.
It's amazing, I tell you.
But not surprised, right?
No, not surprising. We've been working hard.
Yep.
And putting a lot of events on.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I said to everybody. We're never bored here, right?
No, that's for sure. Over 160 plus different experiences that you can have within 30 minutes of the centre of the Gold Coast. So there is a lot to see and do. It doesn't matter what the weather is doing today. We've woken up and had some showers about. But have a look at it now. I mean, even with the cloud, there's not a breath of wind out here on the river. You can come and explore this, or you can go and catch a wave if there's any breaking. Hey, do you have a favourite part of the Gold Coast, Tom?
Yes, it's the park that where Ruth is standing right next to me.
Oh, you're such a romantic. Valentine's Day is done and dusted, but Easter is just around the corner.
Yes, it is, and it's going. Come on up and join us. The weather's good.
Yep.
And I've got plenty of things to do.
Yeah, excellent. All right, I've got to stop running into you because Adrian Bond, who runs Gold Coast Jet Ski Safaris, he's our man. We love spending time out here with Adrian, and he's going to take us on a tour. Let's follow you. Let's go for it, Adrian. Guys, we'll see you.
Yeah. Anyway, we're faring well. It's good to get advertising down south. Right, T20 England versus Australia, and the men's international cricket returned to the Gold Coast, 22nd November, and so another coup that the experienced Gold Coast has really got the event going. Takasoo students on 25th of March. Pleasure to welcome Takasoo students delegation, and for 31 years now, the Gold Coast and Takasoo share sister city relationship. And this year we had 12 students and 2 staff from Takasoo town who are taking part in a homestay and education program with Nerang State High School. And then the 2026 Pacific Air Show ticket launch. Head down to Surfers Paradise Beach, and during the launch I joined Channel 7 presenter, and I think there's a video there as well.
Welcome to the Gold Coast once again, Kevin. Mate, we missed you last year because that Alfred fella made a lot of wind. But we've been working hard. The beach is back, and really the stage is now yours. Give us a bit of an inkling what we're going to do at Pacific Air Show.
Yeah, well, obviously we were, very disappointed about having to cancel last year, but the team is committed, and our resolve was we were okay losing a year, but we were not going to lose momentum, right? So we've worked hard all through the downtime to curate an even better lineup, and we're going to come back bigger and stronger, of course, as you would expect. We've got new on-ground activations, new ticket types, new hospitality offerings, and even more on-ground programming. So Surfers Paradise is going to be the place to be in August. It's going to be absolutely pumping. We did the skydive from this morning, the first rave from 50,000 feet, and sort of to symbolize, kind of what a party atmosphere Pacific Air Show is, both in the air, but what we're going to be bringing and the energy we're going to be bringing to the ground here in Surfers.
They're even raving now on the sand. So to everyone out there, look, this is something for everyone. There's entertainment, there's food, there's unstoppable aviation entertainment, one set after another. It's quite incredible, and we're so fortunate to have it right here on Surfers Paradise Beach to welcome the Pacific Air Show. So get out there and book, and I know that in the first year we had over 3 days 260,000 people, so you'll be among friends. Right, Kevin?
Absolutely, and it's unique because obviously you don't have to be an aviation fan to come down and experience Pacific Air Show. I mean, we've got the magic of the beach. You'll be thrilled by everything you see. You're amazed that things can fly anyway. And it's a really, a very uniquely family-friendly event for all ages. Grandma, grandpa, and newborn, you name it. Everybody's welcome to come down, and I think that's what's so special about it.
All right, mate. See you there.
Can't wait.
All right. Then I had pleasure in meeting New Zealand Consul General James Monroe. Discussed a strong and growing connection between New Zealand and the Gold Coast. We talked quite a bit about direct flights from Gold Coast Airport to various parts of New Zealand. And I mentioned to him that we've got around 50,000 Kiwis now call the Gold Coast home, especially up in the Upper Coomera area. And when I attend a church service there, I said to him that I really enjoy Kiwis being here because where else are we going to get very strong wallaby players for our team? So keep producing. Next one is turning of soil ceremony for Currumbin Wildlife Institute. Councillor O'Neill and Councillor Martin were in attendance. It was a privilege to join Her Excellency Honourable Dr. Janet Young, our Governor of Queensland, with community and government leadership. This marks an important milestone for the future and how protect and rehabilitate our native wildlife for the future generation. The 17 million Currumbin Wildlife Institute will be one of the largest research facility in the Southern Hemisphere, and all 3 tiers of government put money into this, so another city deal. Key to the city presentation, Ellie Day. It was a real honour and privilege to present Ellie Day with Key to the City. We all know that he's a living legend of surf life saving with more than 15 years of competition and 6 Ironman titles. And to present to him at the Aussie, that there was so many crowd. The best thing is the kids were there, and nobody left. And really, we really honour Ali and him and his family. And then Gold Coast Titan versus the Dragons, first home game. The Titans defeated the St George 22-14. Councillor Gates was there, and I went down and saw how the boys celebrated. They were pumped. So I think some more good news. I think we're playing the Broncos this weekend, so it'll be clash of the local derby, and well, it's going to be another milestone for the city. So as I say, they're coming of age, and they absolutely came home strong. 2026 Greek National Day reception in Brisbane. I was honoured to attend the Greek National Day celebration together with Lord Mayor of Brisbane, Adrian Shriner, at the Greek community, and hosted by Queensland Honorary Consul General of Greece, George Mastrokostas. My speech, I talked about our sister city, the municipality of ancient Olympiad. They were all so happy to hear about that, and I did say that that this year is 2,800th year of the original Olympic Games, and signing of the sister city agreement will be part of that celebration. So that will go worldwide. The photo there, I was fortunate to have one hand the Melbourne torch and the Sydney torch. So and there's 4 full collections in Australia, and this person, Robert, he brings his collection out for everyone to enjoy, touch and feel. So it's a wonderful night. I think, councillors, I move that the Mayor's report be noted and welcome. Second to Councillor Hamill. All in favour, show of hands. Against, motion carried, unanimous. Clarification, members, nil. Business arising from the minutes, nil. Presentation, nil. Conflict of interest declaration, 10.1. I go to you, Councillor Tozer.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. As we approach the budget process, a number of matters have come to my attention, and I sought some advice of General Counsel, who chatted with me last night, and I've prepared these today. The nature of the declarable conflict of interest is that the Mudgeerbar Food and Art Trail is managed by an entity known as Friends of Mudgeerbar Arts and Eats Association, FMAE. The president of that association is Louise Duggan, who also meets the criteria for being a close personal associate or friend. I've shared quite a number of meals with her. We've travelled internationally as friends, and she's a volunteer but receives no payment from the association for the work that she does. The association intends to make application to council under the coming discretionary grants program, and may make application under other community grant programs, given the community interest in the work of Mudgeerbar Food and Art Trail, promoting artists, events and local outlets. I'd like to be able to consider their application in the context of others we receive. So the name of the related party is Louise Duggan. She's known as Lou Duggan. She's the president of a group called the Friends of Mudgeerbar Arts and Eats Association Incorporated. The nature of the relationship is as a close personal relationship. The other party's interest is she's the president of an association that may make application for grant funding. I'd like to remain in the room, and also continue to engage with this entity in the interest of my community. And the reason being I'd like to do that is my participation in assessing the discretionary grants program fairly and equitably across the breadth of applications is an important part of the Divisional Councillor role, and the community benefit for the organisational work of Friends of Mudgeerbar Arts and Eats surpasses any perception of the conflict as disclosed because of the voluntary nature of the work involved. So I'll be in the hands of my colleagues.
Thank you. Councillor Hamill.
Mr Mayor, my mind has been read and the words that are in red for a procedural motion I'd happily move.
Seconder, someone? Councillor Martin. Anyone want to speak against the motion? Put the motion to you. All in favour, show of hands. Against, motion carried. Councillor Tozer did not vote. Oh, division.
Mayor Tate, Councillor Doran, Councillor Young, Councillor Patterson, Councillor Lacastra, Councillor Curtis, Councillor Gates, Councillor Hamill, Councillor Fowler, Councillor Wilkinson, Councillor O'Neill, Councillor Taylor, Councillor Marshall, Councillor Martin.
Against? Did not vote is Councillor Tozer. Anyone else didn't vote? Okay. Motion carried. Back to you, Councillor Tozer.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I have a second one. The information in the pre-prepared thing is not entirely correct, so I'll just need you to make some slight alterations. The nature of the declarable conflict of interest is that Pause at the Park has been held in Division 9 for a few years now, I think maybe 6. The ownership of the entity that hosts the event recently changed hands in about the last 12 months or so, and is now being managed by a person that I would describe as a close personal associate or friend. Her name is Kathy Uren. I've shared a number of meals with her, travelled internationally. She's made a few small donations. In fact, it's not under the $200 threshold. It's under the threshold's actually $500, not $200. To my previous political campaigns. Whilst the council officer delegate ultimately makes the decision on sponsorship allocations under the divisional allocation budget, if I participate in the process by discussing potential budget allocations, there may be a presumption that there's a conflict between my personal interest and the public interest and the close personal relationship I have with Kathy. So for the sake of going through the details again, the name of the related party is Kathy Uren. She runs a business called Pet Wellness Centre. We have a close personal relationship, according to the definition. She's the director of Pet Wellness Centre, who is the operator of the Pause at the Park event. In the area where reasons where my participation would improve decision making, I've actually got the incorrect information, but I think I've used the wrong words there. So the reason I'd like to is because it's an existing relationship that council has with Pause at the Park. I'd like it to continue and grow, and I think that the public perception of the benefits of Pause at the Park surpasses the conflict of interest as disclosed.
Councillor Hamill.
Mr Mayor, in familiar and acknowledgement of Councillor Tozer's last bit of information there, this is an ongoing event that's been occurring for many years now between council and this group. I don't think the inclusion of a new individual into that should disrupt that, so I'm happy to move the same procedural motion and thank Councillor Tozer for being very transparent and bringing this forward in this way. It's the right thing to have done, but I definitely don't want to see him precluded from making sure that very successful event continues to move forward.
Is that a seconder, Councillor Peter? Oh, question. Councillor Peter Young, question.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Through you to Councillor Tozer, I appreciate his declaration, and I'm supportive of his involvement in the decision-making process, but I just wondered when you were provided those donations. Which campaigns, please?
In the last campaign, the 2024 campaign, Kathy made a $500 donation to my political campaign.
Thanks for making that clear, Mr Mayor.
Okay, and you second that?
Yes.
Second the motion. Anyone speak against the motion? All in favour, show of hands.
Mayor Tate, Councillor Young, Councillor Patterson, Councillor Lacastre, Councillor Curtis, Councillor Gates, Councillor Hamill, Councillor Fowler, Councillor Wilkinson, Councillor O'Neill, Councillor Taylor, Councillor Marshall, Councillor Martin.
Against?
Councillor Doran.
Motion carried and did not vote is Councillor Tozer. Right, we go reception and consideration of committee minutes. We'll go to 11.1 planning. Councillor Hamill.
Mr Mayor, I move that the minutes of the 866th Planning Regulation Committee meeting held on Tuesday, 17th of March 2026, covered by recommendations 1 to 13, be received.
Seconder, Councillor Wilkinson. All in favour, show of hands. Against, motion carried. Councillor, I think we go to 6.9 because Councillor Martin, you've got a declaration there.
Mr Mayor, not a re-declaration because I've got some words here prepared from General Counsel and Chamber support that at the 848 full council meeting on October 2024, I made 2 declarable conflicts of interest in relation to this matter, which is item 10.3. So eligible councillors at the council meeting resolved that I could participate in debate, discuss with officers, but I'll leave the chambers while the matter's voted on. So, Mr Mayor, if I could, with this declaration now, at committee, I participated in debate. I asked questions. I spoke on it, but I didn't vote. So I have made my position clear on it. So, with your permission, I would vacate to fulfil the obligations of council. I'd be happy to leave the room for the item.
Okay, thank you. So we'll deal with this item first. Councillor Hamill.
Happy to move item 6.9, Mr Mayor.
Move 6.9. Seconder, Councillor Wilkinson. All right, Councillor Hamill.
Mr Mayor, a very quick recap. This is a very large site in Palm Beach. It's been amalgamated, so 5 sites have been brought together. Interestingly, it has Gold Coast Highway frontage, but also has Esplanade frontage as well, so forms a bit of a T-shape, which there was a lot in the report talking to the fact that with the 2-tower proposal that's been put forward, it allowed that to be considered really well together, and that officers feel, through the information request and a little bit of panel beating, that there's been an excellent outcome of how those 2 towers are separated. Mr Mayor, there was a bit of focus in committee that in the information request stage, officers highlighted they felt like the tower on the ocean side possibly should be reduced in height. The applicant chose instead to come back with a fairly significant variation to the architecture where instead of reducing height, they did a lot of recess work on the top and made some very purposeful architectural changes to the top of the building. I agree with the officer assessment that that's actually a really good outcome and has created that differential we were looking for. Mr Mayor, the other focus during committee was on the Gold Coast frontage site, which is in the neighbourhood centre zone, about if there was enough commercial going back into the tenancy. There was some further information sought before the full council meeting on how much GFA in the existing small tenancies there is versus how much is going into the new proposal. The information back from Mr Moran was that currently there's 150 square metres across the four small tenancies, and that in the new proposal there's 70 square metres. So there is a reduction. There was some further discussion with officers, but they felt that that was appropriate, that neighbourhood centre zone land is not meant to serve a massive catchment, it is meant to be for that very localised area, and that 2 small tenancies on that right frontage was appropriate in that space. Mr Mayor, overall, I think a really great outcome, a great use of a very big block of land and 2 very good looking towers that would be good additions to Palm Beach.
Anyone want to speak against the motion? You deem it closed then? Okay. Councillor, I put the motion to you. All in favour, show of hands.
Mayor Tate?
No division scores, is it? No. Against? Motion carry unanimous. Mr CEO, can you cause that Councillor Martin return to the chamber, please? I'll go back to Councillor Hamill.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. We'd like to deal with item 6.8 and introduce a new recommendation, please.
Right, go ahead. We go to 6.8.
Mr Mayor, Chamber support have my updated recommendation. Mr Mayor, for clarity of councillors, so the updated recommendation reflects the new proposal put forward by the applicant between committee and full council, which all councillors were in receipt of around 2 days ago. This is the wording required in the recommendation to make the subsequent changes to the approval that would make that come into effect. And for want of a seconder, happy to open debate.
Seconder, Councillor Peter Young.
Mr Mayor, again at committee, we had quite a lot of debate on this item down in Palm Beach. This one is in a bit of a different location to a lot of the Palm Beach debate we've had over the last couple of years. It's not on the ocean side of the Gold Coast Highway, it's not in the central business area, it's just in the normal medium density area on the western side of the Gold Coast Highway. Quite a lot of discussion and debate about if there was a difference because it's on the western side of the highway and what that actually meant in terms of the idea of local character and sense of place. Mr Mayor, Councillor Martin at committee looked to introduce an amended plans proposal that would have reduced the building height by 1/3. I believe that that change from the officer position of approval was far too great and that it was more appropriate to refuse the application for such a great change. And that's what ended up happening at committee, was a refusal motion against the tower development. Mr Mayor, the applicant and the applicant's consultants were actually in the gallery on committee day, so I got to hear all of the debate and questions and concerns raised by councillors. They have chosen since committee to put forward a updated proposal which includes a reduction in height by 1 typical story, so 14 stories down to 13 stories. It increases the front setbacks in the top 3 stories from 6 metres to 7 metres. Reduces the overall units from 60 down to 54, and they've increased the amount of planter boxes on the front and side facades of the top 3 stories to help reduce the bulk of the buildings. Mr Mayor, overall, apart from the changes, this is a 1,200 square metre site in Palm Beach. The applicant has chosen to amalgamate 3 blocks of land, which I don't think will be surprised to any councillor here is something I want to support, is a developer amalgamating sites and not trying to squeeze everything onto a small block. So 1,200 square metres, it's 1 block back off the Gold Coast Highway, so in great proximity to everything Palm Beach has to offer. Mr Mayor, with the amalgamation of 3 properties and even with a reduction in height in units, they're able to provide 87 car parks, so compliant with car parking. 6 metre setbacks to the front boundary, and now under this proposal 7 metres to the top of it. Mr Mayor, that's 6 metres to outermost projection on the front. It's then also got very big balconies which helps reduce the bulk of that building. We've got average 3.4 metre setbacks on the 2 sides and rear to the outermost projection, but then with the balconies and recesses, in most places you get 4 to 5 metres of recess to the building edges. There's strong modulation in the building, so in some of the recess points we actually get 7 metre setbacks, so they've
with that extra land, allows the architect to have a bit more time to do modulation and recess and to get some of that modulation and that extra work into it. Mr. Mayor, there's been a lot of work done with using balconies to help reduce the bulk of the building as well, which I support. There was a focus during the information request stage based on some of the community feedback, Mr. Mayor, around privacy and screening. So there's been quite a lot of work done in that space as well to adjust some of the privacy screening, the heights of some of the locations of some of that screening to help with privacy concerns. Mr. Mayor, overall, I really do support this proposal. A 1,200 square metre site is a great outcome. This is a good-looking building. I appreciate the applicant being prepared to put forward an updated proposal before full council. It is in no one's best interest to go to appeal if we don't need to. The applicant has heard that and they've put forward this proposal in the hope of avoiding that. There is a small reduction in height, the reduction in units still remains compliant with car parking, strong setbacks the whole way around. To me, Mr. Mayor, this is the outcome that has been envisaged for this part of Palm Beach for longer than a decade. It has been zoned with this kind of intent beyond the 2016 scheme, even before that, to see this kind of redevelopment occur. While it has taken a little bit of time for it to commence, especially on the western side of the Gold Coast Highway, it would appear with this development that that's definitely where developers are looking next. It's what the planning scheme calls for, and I believe it should be supported strongly by council here today.
Okay, speaking against the motion, Councillor Petty-Young.
Just like to raise a procedural issue, Mr. Mayor, please. Between committee and council, we've received a memo from the General Manager of Planning, and he's given us two options. He's explained clearly what the outcomes are in terms of all the proposed changes from the applicant, provided significant documentation around that, and two options. One is for the refusal under different grounds, or an approval subject to a significant array of conditions. And I just want to make sure that those conditions are the ones that we reflect in the minutes. And at the moment, it just says set out in attachment 1. I don't know what that is necessarily.
Councillor Hamill.
Thank you,
Mr. Mayor. Mick can answer it just as easily, but to be very clear, attachment 1 is all of the conditions for the application, and attachment 1 reflects everything that Mr. Moran put out in that memo. But Mr. Mayor, if Mick would like to confirm that as well.
Mick.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I can confirm that's correct. So what we have done is just updated the officer's original recommendation with conditions that reflect the change that the applicant made, and that's what attachment 1 is.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Just confirming, you're a seconder on this motion?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you reflect on the minutes there for me? All right. Speaking against, Councillor Martin.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, firstly, I'd like to foreshadow the committee recommendation, which was for refusal. Mr. Mayor, the Planning Committee considered this application and recommended refusal, and the applicant has proposed to change the application from the 43.5 metres down to still 40 metres. It's a minor change, hence it didn't need to be reassessed. But in my view, it certainly doesn't resolve the issues that we discussed heavily at Planning Committee. It's still well above the 29 metre mapped overlay, and it's a high-rise outcome for a medium density, medium rise anticipated area. What we're talking about here today, the crux of the issue is not about whether it's a good looking building and the setbacks. We're talking about the uplift provisions and the tests required to secure the uplift. And it is not a question of every single element of the uplift test has to be met. And Mr. Mayor, the key failing of this proposal is reinforcing the local character and identity and sense of place. And Mr. Mayor, that we must to approve this, we must say that it satisfies that test, reinforcing the local identity. And it doesn't say local identity, it says reinforce, so it's strengthening what is there. Mr. Mayor, that part of the uplift scheme, there's essentially two parts. Is it a good-looking building? Is it attractive? But the connection to local character, is it out of place? Will it support the local identity? Falls on these couple of key provisions about reinforcing that local area. Now, I don't begrudge that they're making an application. I acknowledge that the provision is there in the scheme, but it doesn't mean need to be granted every time. In fact, it says limited circumstances. Mr. Mayor, the 40-metre building in this area, in my opinion, clearly fails that test. If we look at the local identity, and that's what's around, it's predominantly low to mid-rise. Certainly around the neighbouring site is low-rise. You can see on the maps it's two-storey. And if we look further afield, in fact, Mr. Mayor, west of the Gold Coast Highway in the medium-density residential zone, not 100 metres, not 400 metres, in the 4-kilometre stretch of Palm Beach, outside the centre zone, there's only one building above the 29 mapped height in that area. Now, in the planning report, there was a view that east of the Gold Coast Highway is the same character as west of the Gold Coast Highway, and I would refute that, Mr. Mayor, not only geographically, the built form, but they have different residential density zonings. They are not the same. They have different parameters. Mr. Mayor, I think it's a clear intention that the intensity west of the Gold Coast Highway is not the same as east of the Gold Coast Highway. That is outlined in the residential density. Mr. Mayor, I talk about that one example was Magnolia, Sunland Development. And to achieve that 42-metre story building, 2 towers, there was a public dedication of a park, 2,200 square metres, swing sets. It had a over 25% dedication of its site cover back to the community to secure that outcome west of the Gold Coast Highway. Mr. Mayor, there's no other examples like it. And even if we look closer to the site, 100 metres on the same street to the west is the centre zone, the neighbourhood centre. That is a 9-storey building. So, Mr. Mayor, I think we are also at risk of undermining the intensity of the neighbourhood centre, which is meant to have taller buildings than the surrounding medium-density residential zones. So I think we come back to the test. It's not whether we like the building, it's just whether it reinforces that identity and sense of place. And in this case, it's the current built form is clearly not reinforced. The local area, even the wider field, is not reinforced. The local residents, through 283 localised objections, say they don't support it. The local councillor says it doesn't reinforce the local identity. So I would ask, on what basis do we say it reinforces that local identity in an area that's overwhelmingly low to mid-rise? And then I say, if we do say that this reinforces an identity or a sense of place, we're effectively saying that 40-metre buildings is consistent with the area. 40-plus metre buildings is the character of this area, where in fact there is only one, and it doesn't, in my view, form an identity. It is an anomaly, and given the site conditions of what was given to the community to offset that, I think, Mr. Mayor, it is no comparison. So I think the question for councillors today, are we saying this is consistent with the local character? Because once we say this is, we don't get to say that for the next one and the ones that follow.
Okay, speaking for the motion, Councillor Hamill to close.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to focus on the reinforced local identity and sense of place, since Councillor Martin's opened up the discussion point on it, and I'm going to read some of the extract from the legal advice that was prepared by the applicant on this basis. It's legal advice that our team have run their eye across and don't disagree with, and in fact, some of it formed part of the assessment of this application, so I think it's pretty relevant. The phrase reinforced local identity and sense of place is not defined in the planning scheme, but has been considered by the Planning and Environment Court on numerous occasions, including in respect of Palm Beach, in examples like Hildeberg Business Park versus City of Gold Coast and others, and SNS number 4 versus Gold Coast.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. Point of order. Sorry to interrupt. Just a point of order. Can I just clarify, is this the city's legal advice, or did you say this is the applicant's legal advice that they are somehow waiving a privilege and giving to council? I'm just seeking my understanding. This is not our legal advice. We can't rely on someone else's legal advice.
Mr. Mayor, I made it very clear as the applicant's legal advice. They've allowed it to be going to the public domain. I don't see any reason why I can't read from it, and I'm reading from court judgments that are public information. So as I said, the officers are aware of these cases. They've been referenced in other ones before.
Jody, any problem reading that?
Through the chair, if it's not the city's legal advice, there's no obligation to protect confidentiality. It's a matter for the councillor.
Just for a second, Councillor Gates.
Thanks. I also have a point of order that it's introducing new information that has not previously been considered, Mr Mayor, and we don't usually allow that.
Mr Mayor, that information is information provided to every councillor in advance of this meeting and has been part of the decision-making process. So I'm not sure if it meets that. Thank you, Mr Mayor. So also to do with SNS number 4 versus Council of the City of Gold Coast and others. The relevant locality is broader than the immediate context. The court, and this is why this is important, because this isn't my opinion, this isn't the applicant's opinion or officer's opinion, it is the court's opinion. The court has made it clear that the area informing local identity and sense of place is not to be narrowly defined, but extends across the broader Palm Beach locality, having regard to its physical and planning context. The locality is characterised by the elongated and thin nature of the suburb, bookended by Tallarudra Creek to the north and Currumbin to the south. The proximity of the suburb to the beach, which marks its eastern extent. The presence of the Pacific Motorway, which marks its western extent. The broader understanding of locality is reinforced by the planning scheme, including the zoning maps, which apply the medium density residential zone across a substantial part of Palm Beach on both sides of the Gold Coast Highway. This reflects a consistent planning approach to the area and confirms that local identity is to be assessed at a broad scale rather than by reference to a single street or pocket. Importantly, in Heidelberg, the court confirmed that the relevant local area is informed not only by existing built form, but also by the adopted planning controls and extent development approvals, including those yet acted upon. This makes clear that local identity and sense of place is a forward-looking concept, informed by the planned evolution of the locality rather than a static assessment of existing conditions. Mr Mayor, I introduced that in on purpose because a lot of what Councillor Martin references about what is there in Palm Beach at the moment. I'm more heavily relying upon what our planning scheme says is the future intent of the area, and I believe that's where we need to focus on more as a council. The planning scheme clearly identifies Palm Beach and this part of Palm Beach for redevelopment. It has been this case not just in the last decade, but even before 2016 in previous schemes. This part of Palm Beach has been identified for redevelopment. Under this planning scheme, it was an expectation that development would be somewhere most likely between 29 metres at the code height up to a maximum of 43.5 metres with the uplift provisions. So, Mr Mayor, if Councillor Martin is relying upon the local sense and the reinforcement of local character, I think we must put much greater emphasis, as officers have, in their assessment on the future intent of the planning scheme, which on this property, I believe, has been met. Again, I would come back to, with the close, Mr Mayor, 1,200 square metre site. We see most examples where someone would have tried to have jammed this tower onto 800 square metres on the 2 blocks. They've purposely taken the 3rd block out so that there's no issue with car parking. There's an abundance of it now. Setbacks haven't been a concern. It's allowed that extra built form. Good recess and modulation in the building to break that up. The use of balconies and now some additional recessing to reduce that bulk and scale. Smith, it is 1 block away from the Gold Coast Highway. It has everything to offer in Palm Beach around it. And if we apply that lens of that you cannot just focus on a block or a street when it suits you, that the context of Palm Beach is from the 2 creeks, the ocean to the M1, that if you look at all of Palm Beach for its local character and intent and what the future intent is, this building will not be out of place. It might be out of place on this street for a while. It might be a year or 10 years even before the next development occurs. But it remains the intent of this planning instrument for more buildings like this to occur in this part of Palm Beach. Mr Mayor, I would ask my councillors to support the change recommendation here today, which has seen a small reduction in building height. I acknowledge it's small, but it's a meaningful reduction. A reduction in units by 6, which increases the density slightly. It remains compliant with car parking, compliant with setbacks. They've made some additional work to the recess up the top. This is a high quality building in a great location and should be supported by this council.
Okay, debate's closed, councillors. All in favour show of hands. Divisions call.
Mayor Tate, Councillor Young, Councillor Patterson, Councillor Lacastre, Councillor Curtis, Councillor Hamill, Councillor Wilkinson, Councillor O'Neill, Councillor Taylor.
Against?
Councillor Doran, Councillor Gates, Councillor Fowler, Councillor Tozer, Councillor Marshall, Councillor Martin.
Motion carried. Any other items you want to deal separately, Councillor Hamill?
Mr Mayor, 6.2, just to allow Councillor Taylor to make a very minor amendment.
6.2, so I go to Councillor Taylor.
Yes, please.
Thank you,
Councillor
Mr
Taylor.
Mayor. I'd like to make a minor amendment to point 6, where I just want to add Main Beach to the bringing a future report to Planning and Regulation Committee, prioritising local area neighbourhoods planning projects for Helensvale, Nerang, Eleanor, Mudgeeraba, Wongaburry, Coolangatta, and add Main Beach.
Okay, that's added there.
Add and Main Beach, yes, please. Yep.
It's
Oh,
there,
already
isn't it?
there. Okay.
Okay, so you move that, Councillor Taylor?
I think Councillor Hamill moved on. I'm happy to second it.
Seconder? Okay. Councillor Hamill, you speak on that?
No need, Mr.
No need. Anyone speak against? Put the motion to you. All in favour, show of hands. Against? Carry. Unanimous. Any other items you want to deal separately, councillors? Back to Councillor Hamill.
Mr Mayor, I move that all remaining recommendations be adopted.
Seconder, Councillor Wilkinson. All in favour, show of hands. Against? Carried. Unanimous. Thank you, Director. 11.2, Governance, Administration and Finance. Councillor Patterson.
Mr Mayor, I move that the minutes of the 866 Governance, Administration and Finance Committee meeting held on Tuesday, 17th March 2026, covered by recommendations 1 to 7, be received.
Seconder, Councillor Martin. All in favour, show of hands. Against? Motion carry. Any items to deal separately? Councillor Patterson.
Mr Mayor, I move that all the recommendations be adopted. Thank you.
Seconder, Councillor Martin. All in favour, show of hands. Against? Motion carried. Unanimous. 11.3, Lifestyle, Environment, Heritage and Resilient. Councillor Tozer.
To the 866 Lifestyle, Environment, Heritage and Resilience Committee meeting held on the Thursday, the 19th of March, covered by recommendations 1 to 5, be received.
Seconder, Councillor Marshall. All in favour, show of hands. Against? Motion carry. Any items you want to deal separately, councillors? Councillor Tozer.
I move that all the recommendations be adopted.
Seconder, Councillor Marshall. All in favour, show of hands. Against? Motion carry. Unanimous. We go to Economic, Tourism and Events. Councillor Castro.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I move the minutes of the 866th Economy, Tourism and Events Committee meeting held on Thursday, 19th March 2026, covered by recommendations 1 to 6 be received.
Seconder. I'll second that. All in favour, show of hands. Against? Motion carried. Any items you want to deal separately, councillors? Councillor Castro.
Mr Mayor, can I hope you will just allow me to speak just very, very briefly. I'm not going to revisit the Mayoral Minute because I can't, and I wouldn't, and I did support the Mayoral Minute. But I did want to just say that before you close debate, if I had have had the chance to speak, I did just want to give a huge shout out to Councillor Fowler. And I do endorse what she said. She really has been an incredible Deputy Chair. We have worked very closely together, and she's just been made an invaluable contribution to the committee. I know she's still on the committee, and I'm glad that she is, but thanks for allowing me to at least say what I was wanted to say before. Thanks, Mr.
And your motion?
My motion is I move all remaining recommendations. In fact, there's none remaining because it's all the recommendations be adopted, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll second that. All in favour, show of hands. Against? Motion carried. Unanimous. We go to Water, Waste and Energy. Councillor Curtis.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I move that the minutes of the 866 Water, Waste and Energy Committee meeting held on Tuesday the 24th of March 2026, covered by recommendations 1 to 6, be received.
Second to Councillor Wilkinson. All in favour, show of hands. Against? Motion carried. Any items you want to deal separately, councillors? Councillor Curtis.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I move that all recommendations be adopted.
Seconded, Councillor Wilkinson. All in favour, show of hands. Yep. Yeah, okay. Against? Carried, unanimous. We go to Transport Infrastructure Committee. Councillor Taylor.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I move that the minutes of the 866 Transport and Infrastructure Committee meeting held on Tuesday the 24th of March 2026, covered by recommendations 1 to 5, be received.
Seconded, Councillor Gates. All in favour, show of hands. Against? Motion carried. Any other items you want to deal separately? Councillor Peter Young.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Item 6.3 was response to a petition regarding Claggerbar Road, and I'm just seeking to make some small changes to the committee recommendation that's presented on the screen in front of you. The changes are there in number 4, which seeks that we write to the companies that provide the vehicle navigation data and ask them to obscure the data or modify it so that Claggerbar Road won't be appear as a shortest path, which is encouraging traffic onto the road. The other changes are number 7, that I'll write to the petitioner, and number 8, that the city will install a vehicle activated sign at the expense of Division 5 LAW, and then there'll be some minor treatment to the pavement. That's my motion, Mr Mayor.
I'm happy to second it.
Seconded, Councillor Taylor.
Thank you.
Speak
Mr
on
Mayor, I'm sorry to break the rhythm. I'll just speak to this briefly if you don't mind.
Yeah.
You're familiar with Claggerbar Road. You went out there, and I'm grateful for that. That was about 2 years ago now. So minor changes were made. That was a particular corner which had experienced a lot of traffic accidents in the past, quite severe traffic accidents. There's been a number of accidents still there, and that's what number 8 refers to, in that we'll install a vehicle activated sign which will illuminate on approach and encourage drivers to slow down, and the surface of the road at that corner will be treated with a non-anti-skid surface. I want to thank you again for your attendance that time, and just to illuminate that the problem hasn't gone away. It's still very problematic, this road. It's experienced a huge amount of traffic. That's through traffic, especially going out west towards Canungra, where there's and further out into a scenic rim where there are big residential estates being built, and they're taking our tradies. Our tradies are using this route. It's the shortest path. They're hammering it through there, and there's been a lot of unfortunate incidents, deaths, serious injuries, and of course a lot of wildlife hits, and the locals are really fed up with it, hence the petition. I'm very grateful to the petitioners in the first place. Secondly, to the council officers who've really addressed all of the issues asked by the petitioners to be examined. Each has been explored. It's fully addressed in the report. People would still like there to be some very significant action. They'd really love the traffic to be stopped, but we can't, of course, do that. Occasionally there's flooding impacts, and the road does get cut off through flooding of the road at a couple of causeways, and that's when people really love it. I don't want us to be wishing for more floods, but that's the right kind of conditions that they wish they could experience all the time. I'm grateful for everyone's support for the amended motion before you. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Okay. Anyone speak against the motion? Do you need to close further? Okay. Put the motion to you. All in favour, show of hands. Against? Motion carried. Unanimous.
Understand 6.2 for Councillor Marshall.
Councillor Marshall.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and through you, I just want to move the committee's recommendation and briefly speak to that as well.
What item are you talking about?
6.2. Sorry.
6.2. Move, Councillor Marshall. Seconded, Councillor Taylor. Go ahead.
Thank you, through you, Mr Mayor. Councillors, this is, I guess, an active travel route to Canindra Primary School, and there's been, I think, a few petitions over a number of years to try and get a pedestrian crossing placed. Whilst I understand that the officers are not supportive, the reasoning behind that is rules have changed around how easy it is to just put in a set of black and white lines, and that actually creates a greater risk for children just to run across a road that doesn't have a lollipop man or a signalised I guess, crossing. But I do welcome the fact that the officers are going to put in some additional pedestrian signs to make it known to drivers coming along Dunlin Drive that this is where children will be on their bikes accessing the school, and also looking at a further traffic island so that can allow it, I guess, the traffic to slow down, but also kids to go halfway across the road, stop, and then wait for the traffic to clear. So I want to thank the officers for this, and I want to move the committee's recommendation.
You have. That's very good. Anyone speak against? Put the motion to you. All in favour, show of hands. Against, motion carry. Unanimous. Councillor, any other items you want to deal separately? Councillor Taylor?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I move that all remaining recommendations be adopted.
Seconder? Councillor Peter Young. All in favour, show of hands. Against, motion carry. Unanimous. 11.7. Special budget. Where have I got here? Well, councillors, I move the special budget Monday the 30th of March be received. Seconder, Councillor Hamill. All in favour, show of hands. Against, motion carry. Any items deal separately? I move that all items one.
Mayor. Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay.
7.4.
7.4. We go to 7.4.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to record my vote against on that one.
Okay. All right. In that case, I'll just move 7.4, yeah? And seconder, Councillor Hamill. No need to speak on it. All in favour, show of hands. Division.
Mayor Tate, Councillor Young, Councillor Patterson, Councillor LaCastra, Councillor Curtis, Councillor Gates, Councillor Hamill, Councillor Fowler, Councillor Tozer, Councillor O'Neill, Councillor Taylor.
Against.
Councillor Doran, Councillor Wilkinson, Councillor Marshall, Councillor Martin.
Motion carried. Any other items, councillors? I move all remaining items be adopted. Seconder, Councillor Hamill. All in favour, show of hands. Against, motion carried, unanimous. Item 12, consideration notice motions, Neil. Question on notice, Neil. Presentation of petitions, Neil. General business item, Neil. 16, other business. 16.1, entity interim review update. Mr. CEO, is there a presentation?
Yes, but it's also in the grey.
It's in the grey. Councillors, I move that we go into close for commercial and confidence. Second to Councillor Peter Young. All in favour, show of hands. Against, a motion carried. Streaming off. Councillor Patterson. Seconder, anyone? Councillor Lacastra. Councillor Patterson, go ahead.
Mr Mayor, we've been on a journey with our entities over the last 6 years, and that will continue. This review has enabled us to do a dive into what's working and what's not working and what we can enhance within those entities. I think we've landed in a really good position to assist and create efficiencies and to make sure those are working together. So everyone's very aware of the value of ratepayers' funds and that they are going to best use. I do note that in this recommendation we have noted from the governance perspective of the controlled entities there will be further recommendations and additional report. This is related more to the organisational matters regarding controlled entities.
Anyone speak against the motion? You want to close further? No. Put the motion to you. All in favour show of hands. Against? Carried unanimous. Councillor, it's 12:30 and you know that we don't want to leave the Thai food cold. One more item. You want to do the one more item? All right. 16.2. Is that a presentation?
Nope.
Move. Okay.
Hold on, mate.
We'll go for the change first.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor. I just had a change with one as is. Oh, has someone else put up a change?
That's my change, Mr Mayor.
Oh, my change was, and I can't read that yet, but my change was 1, as is, and 2, that where possible, recommendations are made at Planning and Regulation Committee for endorsement by full council, and 3, that where the prescribed period risks deemed approval, a special meeting of council may be called.
Is that similar to your change?
That's exactly what, it's not, Mr Mayor, my change has nothing to do with that, but that's exactly what the report calls for anyway.
It calls for it, but it's not identified in the recommendation, which I would like to see.
All right.
Personally, so...
Did you give it to them?
I will.
And can you speak to your change, Councillor Hamill?
Mr Mayor, I can. So councillors may remember that there was 3 petitions received on this matter. I can't remember how long ago, but several months ago now. So my change recommendation was just to acknowledge that this report and this recommendation should be the answer to those petitions and that those petitions would be considered closed. The lead petitioner be advised of council's decision. And when ready, Mr Mayor, I'd happily move the item and speak to it.
All right. When we add Councillor Gates to additional one, then I'll come to Councillor Hamill to move. No. It's okay. Well, while they're putting it up, Councillor Hamill, are you happy with those wordings?
Yeah, Mr Mayor, that's fine.
Councillor Gates, those clause 4 and 5?
Thank you, Mr Mayor.
You want to second this?
Thank you.
So move Councillor Hamill, second Councillor Gates. There's a question in the wing before I get you to speak. Councillor Martin.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I have two questions. Firstly, just by doing this today, I'm just aware of the major assessment resolution that we have, and it's number 4 on previous resolutions, because it talks about major assessment and the use of special delegation. So I think we would be required to amend that resolution of major assessment.
No.
Could I see? Okay. And the second question, Mr. Mayor, is of the delegation itself. And now that this has come back, it references code accessible decisions. But I just, through you, I'm seeking just clarity. I can't see where it references impact accessible applications, which would be deemed refusals. So I'm just seeking confirmation of we have used this delegation for impact accessible applications, and if so, how, under what authority?
You want to answer that, or should I get Alicia? Where are you? Director?
Yeah. Councillor Martin, through you, Mr. Mayor, my understanding of your question, so if I haven't heard it right, but we can use that for code or impact, so it's not unique to code or impact. And I think with the major assessment item, if special delegation's no longer there, then the pathways we would use is what's been resolved through this report.
Thank you. Look, I'm supportive of the delegation going. It's just when I look at the delegation, it was point B, it just said in circumstances where code accessible applications. So my concern was it does not say anything about impact, and just seeking comfort that the decisions under special delegation for impact have been.
Through you, Mr. Mayor.
For clarity, I'm seeking that previously decided impact accessible applications using this delegation, given it doesn't reference impact, have been lawfully made.
That's a different question.
Or on the previous one, just take it on notice.
Yeah, we can take that on notice.
Councillor Hamill.
Mr. Mayor, very happy to move this item today. It has been an interesting conversation with this new term of councillors about special delegation, and through unintentionally, a Mayoral Minute last year, I sought for you to introduce, stirred up quite the hornet's nest of connecting major assessment and special delegation together, which is fair to say confused a lot of interested community members as well as community groups of what the two different things meant. We did receive petitions then, which when we understood what those petitions were about, it was just a complete lack of understanding of, one, the difference between the major assessment status, what the special delegation was and how often it was actually used, which just reflecting it's only been used 11 times in recent years, very, very minimally. So the removal of it today means that the ability for a decision to be made by yourself, me and the CEO on a matter during council recess periods no longer exists. It will mean that, in practical terms, that if there is an application to be decided during a recess period, that a special council meeting will need to be called to resolve the matter. That is what I understood was the desire of this term of councillors. It's what I understand from the community looking to see integrity and transparency in planning decisions, what they thought was the best outcome as well. So very happy to support this today. Just to flag, while I appreciate Councillor Gates' point 2 and 3, obviously it still means that anything inside a recess period where there is a feeling of Mr. Moran and Alicia as the assessment managers and myself that a matter needs to be resolved will be included in that as well. And I can let councillors know we're probably looking at a special council meeting in the winter recess at this stage because of the gap in between. That will just be the practicality of it. But all councillors will be at the table. Very happy to support this today, Mr. Mayor, and bring whatever integrity and additional transparency in the planning matters we can to continue to build community confidence in planning matters.
Speaking against the motion? You need to close further? Put the motion to you. All in favour, show of hands. Against, motion carried, unanimous. Meeting closed, 12:40.